In that whole sort of talking about how the climate and nature crises connect together, one of the key ways that happens in the UK is around peat, and you have particular responsibility for peat. Tell us a bit more about your plans on that in the coming months.
So we made a big commitment to peatland restoration, 35,000 hectares by the end of this Parliament, and actually we've already started a great many large-scale projects actually, and we've got funding from our Nature for Climate Fund. So we've already allocated at least £50 million on that, and people have been applying for schemes. We've got, for example, the Great Northern Bog, lots of projects running in the uplands, and lots of them are combined partnership projects. So actually, peat can play such an important role in sequestering carbon, and if we could get our peat re-wetted, that's going to make a really big difference to our emissions. And the interesting thing about the work that we can do to either to re-wet and restore peatlands is that we can do it relatively quickly. In fact, more quickly, say, than a tree growing. So that's why it's so important, and we're tackling it on many fronts, in the uplands in particular, and our protected sites, but also lowland peat. So I've set up a lowland peat task force, because one of our big peat areas, of course, is over in the east of the country, and that actually is our big agricultural productive land. So we're doing a lot of work there to come up with what solutions could we do there in the lowland peat to enable us still to sustainably manage the land and produce food, but also to look after the peat. We will be banning the use of peat. As you say, it's a really precious resource, and we shouldn't be extracting it, and we are working very quickly on a plan to stop doing that.
We'll certainly have a celebration when that ban comes into force, I can tell you. You mentioned there about species abundance, and we were very pleased that you put a target in the Environment Bill to halt species abundance by 2030. We very much hope it won't just stop at halting, but it will reverse species abundance after that. 41% of our wildlife species have declined in abundance since the 1970s, so we really need to turn that around. What's your particular thoughts on how to do that, how to restore species abundance? I mean, surely that requires a big reduction in the use of pesticides in the wider environment, does it not?
Well, the whole new approach to agriculture will be very much less inputs and more biological controls, more minimum till, and already actually tech and innovation. And we've had a big launch today of an agricultural innovation sort of dialogue that lots of countries have signed up to, because that will all be part of getting us to where we need to be to have a more regenerative type of agriculture, and all of that will, of course, improve nature.